My name is Chris Bruinsma, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about something that has just blown up in the last 10 years. It's not the internet, it's texting. Now, texting is one of the main ways we, as 21st century people, communicate. So, what does this communication do? It's great, it's fast, it's efficient, but it's not talking. It's not how we as people really communicate. It's not real or tangible. So I'm going to start off with two stories. The first story took place about 7 years ago. My family had some French speakers over at our house. Now, of course, these were people and not just French speakers, but being, 7 years old, there was no way for me to know that because I knew no French. The only thing I got out of that night was, holy cow, French people use a lot of hand gestures. Now, this was my way of thinking for about 5 years, but obviously, there's no demographic of people that uses more hand gestures than the other. So I'm going to move on to the second story. The second story took place about 2 years ago in the summer before 8th grade. The book, The Fault in Our Stars, was very popular, and I had finished reading it, and I had also seen the movie. There was a scene in that movie where they go to this reclusive author's house, and they put in this CD. The author puts in this CD to explain to them what happens to their main characters in their favorite book after the end of the book. And they didn't speak Swedish, they were from America, and so was he, and they were in Friesland in the Netherlands. So it made no sense. And they asked him, why did none of us speak Swedish? Why did you put that on? And he said, who speaks Swedish? Don't listen to what the voices are saying. Listen to what the voices are feeling. Now, listening to what the voices are feeling is something we do not do when it comes to texting. And it's fundamental. So already, text is missing two fundamental pieces of human communication. The part of it where we actually, you don't really get anything from hand gestures, but it's a major part of it. Also, vocal tone. You can tell how someone's feeling by their voice. If somebody has a really, really, really terrible day, you can tell by the way they say, hey, you can tell immediately. So it's already missing those two things. Of course, there's another. The other thing is facial cues. If I am talking to you over coffee, and I broach a subject that is a little bit touchy, I would not pursue it that carefully or that fully if you were sort of giving me a questioning look that was sort of uncomfortable. I wouldn't pursue it. I would just stop. So what happens when these three things are missing from human conversations? Well, I call it the text bubble paragraph phenomenon, where someone feels like they are not being heard, so they must type it all into the confines of a little gray bubble. Now, like any good novel out there, it can be interpreted in multiple different ways, because all of texting is up for interpretation. So what happens is, you receive this text message telling you that you do not understand the truth behind what the other person is saying, and you sort of try to come up with a way to eloquently apologize for it. But your paragraph sent back is also up for interpretation. And it goes on and on and on, till it doesn't even make sense anymore. And the human part of this interaction is no longer there. Those are moments where text absolutely fails in our generation. So, what is text good for? Text is absolutely brilliant for making short-term plans. Would you like to go to dinner? Yes, I would. What time? 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock sounds good. Where do you want to do it? Olga's. Olga sounds great. That's when it really, really, really works out. Because it's quick. You don't have to explain how you're feeling or anything like that. And here's where it gets even easier. We have so many different ways of talking. We have email. We have the cell phone call. Or telephone call for that matter. And we also have texting. If you want to tell me that we need to meet up for dinner at 6, text. Text is awesome for that. It's quick, it's efficient. You can get a message from Tokyo to Grand Rapids in less than the time it takes for me to go like this. Then, There's email. If you want to tell me about your day, how your trip is going, please send it in an email. Because it's easy to read. It puts it in the scenario where I feel like I need to read it fully. Telephone call. You are injured or you really, really, really want to talk to me. Because it puts some of the human back in our interaction. We get vocal cues and we get, all this stuff. And it's brilliant. And we don't sound that weird over the phone. And so, I'm sorry, text. Your ego has blown up in the last 10 years. Just like any pop star. And tonight, I just had to burst your bubble.